Good morning, everyone. Oh, look, I got some hair. Doing something here, honey. No, ma'am. Anyway, I'm wearing my Mickey Mouse shirt. I wore it yesterday. Um, I tend to wear clothes more than once a day, and that's okay. But I wanted to talk about where I left off with my reviews of my number six film, which was. I want everybody. I know you watched the video. My number six film was. Oh my God, now I forget. What was my number six film? Oh, Yentl. So it brought me to number seven. Now, number seven on my list of all-time favorite films is probably not going to surprise people, except when I tell you that if you haven't seen the film, that it's not how it sounds as far as the title goes, and that's Mike Nichols' 1966 film, which was the year I was born, ironically, and that's Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. Now, the reason I said y'all might think like, well, of course, that's on his top 10. Surprised it's not higher if it's got Virginia Woolf in it, as much as he's a fan of hers. But you'll see in the review that Virginia Woolf is obviously a very small part of this film, and she's not in it for one thing. The character is just a joke that was told at a party. So, but this is a famous stage play written by Edward Albee. And it came out in 1962 when it was staged. And much like I talked about when the movie stage play Doubt came out, when Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, I wasn't alive, obviously, in 1962, but I do know that it was so controversial, um, and it was because the language and the subject matter, maybe just in general, was really quite jarring for the audience to be a part of. And I'll talk about that because I think Mike Nichols, who some of you might know from having directed, well, he goes way back, and I'm old, but I'm not that old, but he goes way back to have had some kind of TV show with Elaine May, I believe, some kind of comedic kind of thing. Anyway, but he went on to direct years later films like Heartburn and with Meryl Streep and Jack Nicholson, which is actually I think a great film, although did not receive nearly the recognition it deserved. And part of that had to do with Nora Ephron's book Heartburn, which was so well received, and I think that they felt the film didn't live up to that. But I disagree. I think Heartburn is a great film, really great film, and he directed that, and he also directed other things. But he did direct Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, and he actually received an Academy Award for directing it, which is absolutely right on the money, because he took a stage play, turned it into a movie. Sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. It obviously worked with the Hours very well. But John Patrick Shanley, like I mentioned in the Hours, who wrote the play, also wrote and directed the film. So I think that's probably why that worked as well as it did. With Mike Nichols, Edward Albee was the playwright, and was a great playwright, by the way. And Mike Nichols, though, was the director of the film. Um, the cast includes Elizabeth Taylor as the character of Martha, the wife, and she won an Academy Award. It's one of my top. It's in my top nine. I think if you remember when I posted on Facebook of all-time greatest female performances, along with well, I'll mention her later, and then Richard Burton, who's also in my top. I think eight male performances, best performances of all time, plays her husband, uh, George. So George and Martha are a married couple, and Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. And then Sandy Dennis, who won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. This is a phenomenal performance. Plays part of a couple, and her name is Honey in the play. And I always forget the name of her husband in this play. I don't know why, and it's not coming to me now. I should have looked it up. Actually, no, I can't look it up because then I'll get out of the video. But Okay, so George and Martha are the husband and wife, and this couple get come to their house for an evening of drinking and partying, I guess. But Honey, which is such an unusual name, but that's the name given to Sandy Dennis's character, who's afraid of Virginia Woolf, and her husband is um, I cannot think of it. And if y'all watch this video, I always I don't hold grudges because nothing rhymes with grudges, so I can't have a grudge. Um, but I will post, maybe I'll post it in one of the, the comments below this video what his name is. But he's played by George Segal, who went on to actually be in a lot of films. What comes to mind is um, uh, Barbara Streisand's film, not her film, but the Barbara Streisand film with called Owl and the Pussycat, and he was really good in that, and she was wonderful in it. It's a comedy. It's one of the few comedies I really like. So yeah, once again we have a simple story, and we have so much of the common themes that seem to be so prevalent in my top favorite films. Characters who are exposing themselves, having to go deeper inside of themselves to bring out things that other characters bring out of them that they don't want to look at. But the synopsis of the story is that, yeah, George and Martha seem to be a married couple who have been married either long enough or they've been married enough to know how to push each other's buttons. They have a very dysfunctional relationship, and they're coming from a party at a university because the character of Martha is the daughter of the president of the university, and her husband George teaches in the history department of that college, and they're coming back from a college party, and that's where they meet Honey and I forget his name, and they're invited to come over for a night, and it's obviously late at night. So so the whole play takes place. At least let me talk about the movie, because when you got a stage play, you can't really move around except for the stage. But Mike Nichols does a wonderful job of moving these characters in, not just staying indoors but outdoors. Like I think about Fences. One of the criticisms I had about Fences, although I love the film, which was based on a play by August Wilson, is that it seems very stagey, even though it goes outside. But Mike Nichols does a wonderful job of going outside and actually even having the characters go in a car and go to a local bar. And he does a wonderful job of actually taking this play and making it, giving it movie elements as far as like different locales and settings. And but what we have here, like I said, is we have two characters, George and Martha, who can push each other's buttons like nobody's business. And Honey and her husband get invited to this party, and then all of a sudden, there's a lot of drinking, a lot of drinking. Martha clearly is an alcoholic, um, and so there's this. I don't want to give too much about the film because, as I do with my reviews, I want people to go watch the film. But I will talk about what review wise, why it's number 7 on my film list of favorite films, and why I'm talking about it now, and what I like about it. I love, like I said, I love the play. Jason Marlett, a dear friend of mine, and I formed a theater company in Austin called Actor Sanctuary Group, and we were actually auditioning for this play. We both wanted to do it. We both loved it that much. And I was going to play George. And I think we had the other two characters cast, the husband and wife that get invited to the party, but we could not find an actress, believe it or not, in Austin, who was strong enough, at least as far as who showed up at auditions, to play the part of Martha. So we shelved it. And I would have loved to play the part of George. Now, all honesty aside, y'all know how I am. I would have loved to play the part of Martha more than anything because that part is so meaty. And like I said, Elizabeth Taylor played Martha, who's afraid of Virginia Woolf. Her performance is miraculous. She That character is miraculous. Um, and and like I said, her and her husband George, played by Richard Burton, who who obviously is infamous for being married on and off again to Elizabeth Taylor. But they are so well cast. I mean, I can't think of anybody playing these two roles. And they just, I mean, it's just fireworks going off left and right in the dialogue between the two characters. And like I said, Honey and her husband, uh, I keep waiting for the name to just pop up in my head. Um, they engage in Nick. That's his name. Nick. His name is Nick. That's it. Thank you, Father God. They just get thrust into this. It's like there's times when they're like, I think me and my wife should leave. You know, Nick says and stuff, and they're like, you're not going anywhere, and all this. And there are so many scenes in this film that, as far as I like, I've often taken the stance of criticizing American films for not being like to the high quality of what some of the foreign films that I talk a lot about. But this is an exception, I think. And like I said, Academy Awards went to for Elizabeth Taylor as Martha, uh, Sandy Dennis as Honey. The director was Mike Nichols for Best Picture. I mean, Best Director. I don't know what won Best Picture that year. I want to say it was Man for All Seasons, but I may be wrong. But all three of those Academy Awards are so well deserved. Um, but going back to the Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, what happens at the party is that the character of Martha is obviously a very people person. She's very boisterous. She's very extroverted, and she obviously makes a joke at a party in a sort of a song-like fashion of "Who's afraid of Virginia Woolf, Virginia," like "Who's afraid of the big bag of wolf." And the film and the play alludes to this, and this is where the title comes in. But it ties it up at the end when they've gone through so much dramatic um, upheaval that, and I hate the way give away endings, but the ending sort of has it come up again, and it's I don't want to give it away. Dang. Anyway, but that's like I said, Virginia Woolf is. When I told my mom about the film, she was like, "Well, of course you like it. Virginia Woolf is in." And I said, "Actually, she's not in it, Mom, and it's not even about Virginia Woolf because it's not. I mean, there's really no comparison as far as anything about Virginia Woolf as a living being that is referred to in this film, other than that joke. I mean, and maybe there's something in that I'm not seeing. But I don't think I think it's just because it's the ending, and like I said, I don't want to give away the ending. But yeah, number seven on my list is I thought about it a while, and because I wasn't sure what was after number six, but it is Mike Nichols, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I think it stands as definitely stage play. It's probably one of my favorite plays. Um, uh, if Definitely in the top five. Some of my favorite plays are Boys in the Band, which I had the pleasure of playing Michael, I don't want to say the lead, but he was the lead. And that was the part that Actor Sanctuary Group, Jason Rado and I did. And I remember telling Jason I wanted the part of Michael, but Jason said, "Well, you're gonna have to audition like everybody else." And I was like, "Jerk." And but he went ahead and had me audition, and he thought, yeah, I want you. I think you should play Michael. And it was one of my favorite roles, and that play is one of my favorite plays. Doubt is one of my favorite plays. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf is one of my favorite plays. Othello, Shakespeare. Once again, I had the privilege of playing Iago. I don't know if the privilege of playing him, but it certainly was my greatest, I think, my best role to date. And I had probably many Shakespeare plays if I really thought about it. I wish I read more of his stuff and like to read more of his stuff. Uh, I can look on my wall and see what kind of plays I have up there. Bent is another play by Martin Sherman. No, yes, that I also love, which deals with the Holocaust and two men that are in love in the Holocaust concentration camps. That's another play I love. I love the play Dresser by Ronald Harwood. Anyway, we're talking about Virginia Woolf, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, but it is number seven on my list. If you have not seen the film, um, just call me, and I'll be glad to loan my copy. I actually loaned my copy to somebody when I was directing a show, and I never got that copy back, so I had to order it again. And I was glad I ordered it again because what I had was I had the DVD of just the film, but then I went ahead and ordered a special edition, which includes two CDs, DVDs, the movie, and also the special features, which I haven't had a chance to watch. But this is a terrific film, brilliant film, recognized by the Academy for its exceptional acting and directing that is just so brilliant. Mike Nichols just did a brilliant, brilliant job. And I remember watching, well, I wasn't alive. I mean, 1966, I was born that day, but I remember watching on YouTube video Elizabeth Taylor and Sandy Dennis winning their awards, and they were obviously, neither one of them were at the Academy Awards, which was just kind of weird because most people show up when they're nominated. But Mike Nichols got up and accepted the award for both Elizabeth Taylor and Sandy Dennis. And violence, violence, violence. That's Sandy Dennis's line. And I was talking to my friend Jason, who, like I said, forms Actor Sanctuary Group, and was telling him how funny I thought that line was, and he said, "Was the discomfort kind of funny?" And I said, "No, I thought it was really funny." And this play is like that. It's got a lot of humor in it, but the drama is just it's I mean, it is, you talk about tightly written. It is a brilliant, brilliant play, and a brilliant, brilliant film. That's number 7 on my top 10 list of favorite films. So please, like I said, if you don't, can you find the copy? Call me, text me, email me, Facebook me. I'll be glad to let you borrow it, but I swear to God, if I let you borrow it and you don't bring that movie back to me, I will find you and I will hunt you down. I will play Martha in real life, and I will be that boisterous, demonstrative character that she is, and I will find you and get that copy back from you if you don't give it back. Father God, I'm just calling, I'm just keeping it real. Anyway, have a blessed day. I woke up at 4 o'clock. I know I seem a little tired, but I'm so blessed to have my life, so blessed to this day belongs to Father God, and I know it's going to all go according to His will, and I give Him all the praise and honor and glory. I love all of you, and I thank you for being you, and I thank you for listening to this review that I know you're not going to listen to. So many people don't watch my reviews, and like I said, once again, it's kind of like when I wrote my sonnets. I mean, I write them because Father God gives me the words. I look back at my sonnets and I read them and I'm like, who wrote that? And it's because I didn't write it, Father God did. So thank you for this review, and thank you for Father God for allowing me to talk about this film. And I tell you, never mind, I was going to say something, but it has nothing to do with this review, and it's already 18 minutes. So, all right, God bless you. Have a blessed day. Tell people you love them, because you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. It may not come, and later in the day may not come. So if there's somebody you need to say I love you to, this is more note to myself probably than you. Go ahead and say it, and if you mean it. And I hope you do. God bless you. Amen.